Hello, everybody. I am Lightning Stripe, and to celebrate New Year's, how about we take a nice walk down memory lane? Before I start, just a quick disclaimer. This video won't be about things that other people made, like videos, fanfics, etc., but about G5 related releases made by Hasbro throughout the year. Now, with that out of the way, let's take a walk, shall we? January. Cue the G5 hype. It was back in January when we got our very first glimpse of what G5 was going to be. An article from Kidscreen revealed the very first clues about setting, lore, and more. It also revealed that the movie was going to use a 3D CGI animation style, unlike any of the other previous things released from Hasbro. We also found out that it would take place in the same world as FIM, just many years afterwards, in order to, quote unquote, focus on a new generation of ponies and unexplored corners of Equestria. Think about it, we had just recently found out that the main character, whose name we didn't even know, was an activist working to make the world a better place. And it doesn't even feel that long ago. Just a year before, we had been told that the story would include, quote unquote, a new generation of phonies for a new generation of fans. If all that sounds familiar, that's because I talked about it in my first video, all about the information up to that point, and my second video. Ugh, I still remember how bad that one went. The cringe still lingers to this day. Hold on, I made my first video 11 months ago? Has it really been that long? Well, happy birthday to me, I guess. Time sure flies when you're analyzing everything you see. February. Finally, official information. February was when Hasbro made its biggest reveal yet, the Sunny in a Room picture, which someone immediately overanalyzed. Along with the picture, we were finally given what we'd waited for so long for, a synopsis. Just for old time's sake, how about we reread it and compare it to what we thought back then? In the new movie, the pony world of Equestria has lost its magic. Friendship and harmony have been replaced by paranoia and mistrust, and ponies now live separated by species. Sunny, a feisty and idealistic young Earth pony, is convinced there's still hope for this divided world, but her slightly misguided and often hilarious efforts to change hearts and minds have led her to being branded a misfit. When Sunny befriends a lost unicorn named Izzy, who wanders innocently into the Earth pony town of Maritime Bay, the town has had enough. Izzy and Sunny must embark on an epic adventure that would include a daring jewel heist, outrageous conspiracy theories, and elaborate musical numbers, and the world's cutest flying Pomerian. Their adventure will take them to faraway lands and force them to change their status quo by facing their fears and making new friends out of old enemies. The world Sunny has dreamed of her entire life could finally become a reality as Sunny and her newfound friends fight to prove that even little ponies can make a big difference. Ah, the nostalgia. I love it. This release also confirmed that Sunny and Izzy were indeed real characters. But this was just the beginning. Just the next day, we were told that the G5 series would also be debuting on Netflix, and that Sunny's last name was Star Scout. On the same day, we were introduced to the very first male main character, still unnamed at that time, as well as brushable toys for all three ponies. But it wasn't over yet. On the next day, we were given Izzy's last name, Moonbow, as well as her design, which confused a lot of people with the fact that she had a tennis ball in her head. And shortly after, the full name of the male pony was released, Hitch Trailblazer. Phew, that was a lot, and that was just the second month. Now on to the next. March. Not much happened in March, though we were given two new characters, Pip Battles and Zipstorm. One of the most surprising things was the fact that Pip was holding a cell phone, something we had never even gotten close to seeing during G4. It was also hinted by German merchandise that Pip was a pop star. April. At the beginning of April, we were finally given confirmation that Pip and Zip were siblings. Then, after nothing for the rest of the month, Russia came at us with a surprise on the 30th. A surprise in the form of a rough schedule for the release of both a teaser trailer and a full trailer for the movie. May. Next up is May, where we were given three different books on the G5 movie, which, even now, I'm not sure are even related to the movie. A few days later, we were told that Hitch was a sheriff, which got many bronies, well, at least me, to switch from connecting him to Fluttershy to connecting him to Shining Armor or other guards. Then, after months of waiting, the official name of the movie was released. Think about it. This was May, and we had just found out the name of the movie. It feels like just yesterday I was watching ANG for the first time. June. June started relatively slow, with the release of a new character image on the 26th, but no information on them. But then it began to pick up speed. The next day, two composers confirmed that they were working on the music for the G5 movie. Alan Schmuckler, is that how you say it? And Michael Maher, or is it Maher? Anyways, while we had two composers, we had still no idea what the songs would be. On the next day, we got, wait, is that underwear? Hasbro, you really have some truly random merch. However, 2 days later, we received more information on each of the main five Cutie Mark, as well as better images of them on a finished MLP book. Then, suddenly, another piece of information blew past the other new merch releases. The release of the main cast and five new ponies, Sprout, Phyllis, Haven, Alphabeto, and Argyle. And biggest of all, the true release date, September 24th, 2021. Geez, was it really that long ago? July. After the big reveal of the release date, what followed was the exact time that the movie would be released around the world. A few more merch and some guest pony animations showed up in the My Little Pony official YouTube channel, but not much else happened. At least, not much from Hasbro. Between the official release and the exact time, the excitement only grew inside the fans. August. August is where seemingly everything happens at once. First of all, the trailer was finally released, and fans did what fans do best and squeezed every bit of possible information from it. Maps, landmarks, Easter eggs, the trailer was dry after just about a week. What remained, however, was a single frame of Sunny and Izzy, which you've probably seen by now. One word. Ship. Anyways, a few songs were also released for the movie, which people also squeezed dry. Then came the merch time, and with it, something I consider to have been a mistake. The release of Alicon Sunny worried many fans on how bringing in Alicon this early into the story would affect the overall plot, something that is still being argued now. We also got short character intros for each of the main five on the MLP YouTube channel, but nothing much could be theorized from those. September. With September came what every fan was finally waiting for, the movie. First, it was leaked and flooded YouTube with scenes. In any normal case, they would have been overanalyzed by the masses, but there was no time to do it because just a few days later, the movie was finally released in English. And wow, was it great! I love the way that they tied in G4 with G5, as well as balancing the mysteries of the past with the news from the future by having Argyle there to remind us just how important G4 was. In a way, Argyle shares the same Brony spirit that every fan holds within them, and that's one of the things that I love the most about the movie. After it was released, content creators from throughout the fandom rushed to analyze, theorize, draw, animate, sing, or write content about all the stuff that had happened in the new movie. Just a few days later, we started receiving storyboards that had been scrapped from the movie. October. With the movie finally released, news died down a bit. That didn't mean things stopped being released though. In October, we began to see some concept art, and Sweet Celestia was there a lot of it. From scrapped character designs to landmark redraws, art began to flood EcoD all throughout October. This is probably why people were so quick to believe Edward Davis's animatics for the upcoming series. As you probably know by now, these animatics were later proven to be fake, probably created to boost Davis's popularity. Now, I've already talked about how there was a horrible idea on his part, so I won't go into it again. On to the next month. November. I hadn't had the chance to make a news-related video since before the movie. Sorry about that, guys. I'll try to cover it all in a future video. Right now, I'll just keep listing some things. So, as of October, we were still receiving tons of concept art from the people who worked in the movie. However, we began to notice some new things here and there and began to ask some questions. Like, why is Sunny's hair colorful in this book cover when she's not an Alicorn? What exactly does the post-credit scene mean? Why are there no indigos? And truly important questions like, will Izzy ever wear that tennis ball again? While theorists try to answer these questions, new information on the series was finally released. Though I won't go much into detail because I want to do a future video on all the information that we have on the series so far. What I will say is that this series might be 2D animated, which is an interesting idea to say the least. After tons more concept art and animatics, a new comic series was released called My Little Pony Generations. While this takes place during Twilight's time, after looking through some pages, I have concluded that it doesn't have anything to do with G5. Unless this new comic actually explains what caused the disappearance of magic. Well, I know what I'm doing after this video. December. Concept art died down a bit, but now instead we have books and comics to look at. One of the things that I noticed Hasbro doing a lot is releasing books or other written versions before they release the fully animated versions. The same is happening with G5. Books have been showing up, like My Little Pony Sunny's Day, which might be actual episodes of the upcoming series. Personally, I won't be reading them because I prefer seeing the fully animated finished product instead of the book form. There have also been rumors that Sprout will potentially become part of the main cast, changing it from a main 5 back to the usual main 6. Personally, I'm fine on whether this happens or not. 90% of the time, my favorite characters are ex-villains or characters that were once cast out, but later given the chance to change, like Starlight or Discord. I just love how much character development goes into these characters, which is why I would like for Sprout to be given the same chance. However, Sprout's personality is very different from the usual castaway or reformed villain characters. He just seems too childish, and like I said in my Nightmare Night special, I have no idea how his manipulation plan worked. Where I usually can and love to plan out exactly what will happen to certain characters given certain circumstances, because of Sprout's overall childish attitude compared to the usual still arrogant personalities of recently changed villains, I have no clue how this could go, so I'm excited to see how Hasbro could make this work. Phew, that was a lot of information. So, what do you think? Not about the news specifically. This time I want to know what you enjoyed about Generation 5 of My Little Pony. Before I end this off, I would like to give out a quick shout out to AZMoonbow23 for giving me this video idea, and to Goldstein family for giving me one of the best Christmas presents in the form of the sweetest comments I've ever gotten from YouTube. So thank you, both of you. With that said, leave your thoughts down below in the comments. Don't forget to leave a like and subscribe, and as always, remember, friendship is magic.